First chess tournament ever. Let's fucking go.
Yo, what's up? So I just played in my very first over the board rated tournament in the Mechanics Institute in San Francisco. It was super fun. Kind of a spur of a moment thing with my friend. We were playing over the board at his place, my friend Anthony, um, on Friday night. And then we were like, oh shit, we never done over the board before. So let's look up some tournaments. And it ended up the next day there was a tournament in SF at 3 p.m. and we were like, oh my god, we never done this before. Let's do it. So we got our USCF membership. We signed up for the tournament and we ended up playing the very next day. It was pretty crazy. So for anyone who hasn't done it before, basically over the board, how it's different from like online playing on lichess, chess.com, whatever, right? There's a few rules. I think the first one is like touch move, which is kind of like if you touch a piece and it has a legal move, you have to move it, assuming it's your piece, of course. If it's the opponent's piece you touch first, then if you have something that can take it, then you have to take it. That's like part of the rules. So you have to be very intentional if you're touching. Now you can always adjust the pieces if you want. You have to say adjust before you do it, so the other player knows. In case this you need the pieces to be on the center of the square or whatever, right? The second rule is touching the time. Because you're playing time limit, right? So or touching the clock. Whatever hand that you make the move, you have to use the same hand to touch the clock. And that's a rule that I assume a lot of people don't get at the very beginning, but as you play along, you get more. The penalty for that, though, the other player can start calling you out, and if the tournament director comes in, they can actually dock you time for it because it's like more efficient to play with two hands apparently. The third thing is, I guess castling. Castling, you should always touch your king first because it's technically a king move. And lastly, I think this is pretty interesting. I'm not sure if you have to do it or you don't have to do it because this was a pretty small tournament. I don't know if what it's like in bigger tournaments, but you have to you write down your score sheet, like something like this. And some I think a lot of us who play chess online and never played over the board like in a tournament before, we don't really know chess notation that well, or even like the notation on the on like the chess squares, the letters and the numbers and stuff. Like it takes time to like realize like, oh, I just moved like e4 or like bishop takes e4 or something like that. Like in the midst of the game, it's pretty hard to think about. That's something I practiced on my own with like chess vision on chess.com, and I think I'm pretty competent in that, but like in the middle of the game things are very different. I'm like I have to like count align like the row and the column and like, okay, bishop takes, and then it's pretty funny because me and my friend Anthony, we both went to the tournament and we ended up playing each other. He's like a really close friend of mine. And we've been playing on and off for the last few years, so it was pretty funny. I'll go into more of that story later on. So this tournament, it was the Mechanics Championship Quads. It was supposed to be it's a quads, which means like everyone who comes in, they split everyone off into 4 sections based on rating, and yeah, I think that's how they do it. So there were around like 50 something people. We got split into fours. Because I was unrated. Uh, I was grouped into to the rest of the with the rest of the unrated people and people with lower ratings. So we ended up only having 6 people in our group and one no show. So altogether five. Um, yeah. Let's jump into the games. So 3 games. I played two as white and one as black. This is my very first game with our fawn. He's rated 391, and I'm obviously 0 because I'm unrated. So let's jump into the games. First game I played against I played white against this guy named, or it wasn't a guy. It was, I mean, it was a guy technically, but he's like a kid. It's like I don't even know how old he was, probably 7 or 8. I'm really bad at estimating like kids' ages. It's like either like a toddler or like they're somewhere between kindergarten and high school or middle school or something like that. And then I guess they look like they're 18 when they wear hoodies. I think that's it. Like when they start wearing hoodies, that's when you know they're a teenager. All right. So basically this kid was like 7. He's like yeah, he's basically a kid. He's rated 391 and I was with the white pieces. So let's jump into the game. It's 30 plus 5, by the way, so 5-second delay. So I play e4, he plays e5, I play the King's Gambit. This is, I guess, this is the one I play the most online, so I'm just like, okay, I want to play something comfortable, and I'm thinking like he's a kid, right? So he probably plays more traditional. So I guess like knowing that I was gonna face a kid, I was thinking like, okay, what do kids play, or what are they taught in like class, if they like take lessons or stuff like that. I assume that they're taught like playing towards the middle. They play like London at most, or like, you know, 4 knights. I'm guessing that stuff's pretty common, or like Scholar's Mate. I don't know. I never take class, but like I assume kids play that. So King's Gambit, which is what I'm super familiar with. Let's go for it. He accepts. I play King's Gambit stuff. At this point, I guess I could push. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but my objective right now was like develop, maybe even trade off this bishop for this. Play kind of like I was basically thinking like Grand Prix slash King's Gambit kind of setup where, you know, the white bishop is gone, and then I screw up the pawn structure, and then I play with more familiarity. I mean, this is my first over the board game, so I was just like, you know, what I'm good with is like what's good enough for me. Okay, take. I consolidate the chain. Attack the pawn. I know computer says like pushing is best, but that's something I don't play a lot, so you know, familiarity. He attacks the center, which is really good. Yeah. I take. He tries to make it annoying for me to castle, and I played this to I don't know. I knew I wasn't gonna play e5 because that's like anti-positional, blocks in my bishop. So I think I wanted to probably trade. Actually, I don't know. That doesn't really look right, but I played this to like see what he's gonna do, basically. Maybe I was hoping for for him coming back and then like fork him like that, but he didn't end up doing that. He ended up going there, which pins my knight. So I see the threat of like something like this happening, and I was like, okay, what was I thinking at this point? I was thinking that like he already wasted 2 turns by going bishop c5 and then bishop b4, and that allowed me to push this pawn. So that means if I was thinking about it in terms of tempo, I actually have like a free move to do something. Like I could remove one of my pieces and technically we will be in the same flow. So with that, I decided to pin the knight. Now I was thinking this because I knew this was a threat, and then I didn't want to take to rebalance the pawn structure. And also I didn't want to push the pawn because that's kind of anti-positional. But now that I think about it, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad, because ultimately if I pushed here, actually no, that's bad, I guess. I push here and then I go here, and yeah, that would have been kind of messy. So yeah, I decided to avoid all that and just pin. He took the pawn. What did I do? Okay, yeah, I played knight here to attack both bishop and queen. Pretty straightforward. He tries to kick the pawn or the bishop. I move back. Castles. I don't know why that's a blunder actually. But I guess I'll evaluate later. So castles. Let's actually see. If he pushes in the center, I take. Oh, just ruined pawn structure. I see. Ruined pawn structure. And then forces queen trade. What if I don't take? Yeah, what if I push here? Oh, I guess I'm just down a pawn. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, so he had a chance to win a pawn and make the position more complicated. I see. Okay, so going back to the game. Okay, he castles. Yeah, I think at this point he has to play, let me turn off the engine. Yeah, he had to play this in order to remove the pin. But after this, yeah, I get to trade. And before taking, or I can't take, obviously, it's not hanging, but like this is an in-between move. Since the bishop is no longer pinning my knight, I can move the knight, so I kick the queen and attack the pawn 2 times. Yeah, that's an inaccurate move, I guess. I don't know at this point. I'm coming in like this. And then I plan on stacking, which you'll see later. So that's probably I don't know what you do in this case. But anyways, I ended up taking, I check him. He moves to the corner, and this position I realized that this pawn's weak. So I'm like, ooh, gimme. Oh, it's a blunder. Oh my god. What's the better move? Oh, position says it's computer says it's forced mate. Oh, okay, the thread is here to go into here. I didn't see that. I just saw this pawn was hanging. Yeah, but I go here. He goes there, trying to defend this pawn. I go rook up. So I think at this point it's like it's a good pausing point for myself, because I was like, okay, at this point I'm attacking, and it's pretty obvious that I have a lot of pieces that can come in. But also, if I play like if I try to consolidate and think that like, oh, the king, like the enemy king is like is weak and my pieces are really strong and I'm gonna take some time to consolidate, I think that actually wastes some time, which is why I wanted to bring my pieces in like ASAP to try to like checkmate him, because as of right now I have these 4 pieces developed, and he has 2 pieces developed. So I know that, and the amount of time that it takes for him to develop and get these pieces in, 1, 2, 3 moves, 1, 2, 3, like it's and I have some checks as well. It's pretty overwhelming. So I think that if I paused here and like tried to consolidate with like c3 or something like that to push the bishop, I knew the bishop had this square here to try to force some trades, which would kind of kill my attack or like try to dampen my attack. I knew that that would slow me down a little bit. So I didn't want to kick the bishop actually, because I knew he would come here and like mess up my harmony. You know what I'm saying? So I continued trying to attack. Like I knew like, oh, I could double stack here and then bring the rooks in, and then, you know, it's over, baby. So yeah, I moved the rook up, planning on double stacking, planning on checking, something like that, and then waiting to see what he does, right? So he plays rook h8, which is pretty good. I think one of the ideas that I actually had was to move this knight over here to double attack this pawn, and this prevents that. And even then, I realized that the queen defends this pawn as well. I didn't see that, like, I didn't see this one in the game. I don't know why. Like, it's one of those things that, like, I thought I feel like I would see it if I played on lichess, because the board is, like, very, like, up in your face, like, flat. But, like, when you play over the board, the pieces, you're staring at the pieces diagonally. And that actually affects the like board vision quite a bit. Like I'm surprised, as you'll see in one of the games actually. Yeah, it's pretty different looking at the board and like thinking intensely. It's like way different than online. But yeah, he plays rook h8, defending the pawn, trying to stop the inevitable. I stack the rooks, like I said. Here he plays that the original idea of, you know, bringing the bishop back. Yeah, I mean it's already losing, but the reason I don't know, like it's either this or like moving this and trying to get this in. Like I think either of those already takes way too much time. Yeah, computer says force mate, and there's a even more efficient mate. I was thinking about someone sacking here. I don't think that works. But yeah, I just pulled back. He blunders the bishop. Right here, I think is the last desperation to check me. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. And then here, it's just bait. Yeah. Oh, I could have just made. What? This is made. Yeah, this is just mate. But yeah, that was my first over the board game. It was pretty cool. This kid like barely used any time. Like it was 30 plus 5. I remember ending with like around 16 minutes or so, and he had like 25 minutes on the clock. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was pretty crazy. With this game in particular, I thought like and especially because he was my first ever opponent, I thought it was more of like playing against the opponent. Cause you know, I watch I guess I watched some videos online like Hikaru and stuff like that, and there's like he mentions and talks about or like maybe other GMs as well, but they all mention and talk about some ways of playing against the opponent versus just playing chess, you know. So I actually thought about that as I went into these games, and one of the approaches here was knowing that I was playing a kid. I was thinking like, okay, what do kids know, and then like go into it like that rather than just be like, okay, I know how to play chess, I'm gonna play my chess stuff, right? I mean, with this one, with King's Gambit, it is stuff that I know, but yeah, it was something that I thought about for sure. Okay, on to the next game. This one's pretty funny. This is me and my friend Anthony. Now, we play a lot of games together, so I mean, over the board online. We played online during COVID and stuff like that, and we have a lot of history. And it's pretty funny because I know some of his playing tendencies. Like he likes to play modern and perk, he says, with basically like fiend kettle the bishop, and like night owl, stuff like that. And recently I started to play more hyper modern chess against him, like the ready defense or ready attack, and more playing towards the sides rather than like trying to control the center. So the night before I was playing ready, and so he knew kind of like that was the like mentality going in, which was like I was basically playing like knight f3 and c4, trying to attack the center from the sides, basically, which he's not really used to because it's like hyper modern, quote unquote, which is not traditional. But we end up playing a really interesting game because of this dynamic, right? He knows what I play, I know what he plays, that kind of thing. And the one thing I tried to abuse with Anthony, going back to like knowing the opponent and kind of playing against like their weaknesses or I guess assumptions. One thing I know with Anthony was that he doesn't know, or he's not that familiar with like time management in chess. So I was looking to abuse that in particular. So with this, I play e4. He plays the French, and I was like, "What the hell? I know you don't play the French. What's going on?" So actually, here I started to think a little bit, and what did I end up playing? Okay, I played this. He basically fianchettos. I try to control the center. I don't usually control the center like this, but I was like, okay, we're playing something different, right? We're gonna play something different. Okay, so he actually plays kind of passively. So I was like, okay, let's go, let's go attack the queen. So here I kind of had an option of like whether or not which one to develop first. And I remember a tip that one of the people that I follow or subscribe to on YouTube, either Feingold or Hikaru, mentioned, which is basically like when you have options for a piece, you kind of want to save that for later. For instance, like for here, like I don't know if I want to go here. Like for this bishop, I don't know if I want to go here, here, or here. I kind of want to give a check, but I know he's gonna just push me away, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't really know yet, and I at the same time I kind of wanted to go here. So I kind of saved that decision for later, and I wanted to see what he would do if like he would if I pinned him or like attack his queen, sorry. Because I think there was a tactic too. If he moved his knight like this, I think I could push take here, and I saw this as a tactic. There's actually a mate here. I think this is mate. Yeah, that's mate. So I saw this tactic down the road that like, oh, if he like lets me pin with if he lets me pin, then yeah, it's I have a really juicy tactic, and that'd be pretty funny, playing against your friend and be like, oh, gotcha, bitch. Okay, but that didn't happen. What ended up happening? Oh yeah, he played f6, which I'm really happy with. I was really happy when he played that because after I played was this bishop e3. I'm still practicing with chess annotation. Anyways, please be patient. So bishop e3. Yeah, I was really happy with this move because if you take a look at the state of the board right now, holistically, black has developed one piece and pushed all these pawns, and yeah, I'm basically almost done with development. He played a6 to try to prevent this, but yeah, I was happy with I'm happy with the state of the board right now. Computer says it's +2, so I tried to punish at this. I knowing this and trying to punish, that kind of describes why I played the moves I played in the next couple of turns. So first I developed the bishop, ready to castle, etc. He develops a knight. I think he's ready to castle as well. Knowing this, I feel like I know this is a blunder because I think I should have castled first before trying to open it up. But I wanted to like spice things up, knowing that he hasn't developed many pieces yet. I have everything that every minor piece developed. And worst case scenario, I looked into this, which he ended up playing. And I knew I could take first. So I was like, okay, opening the center, I'm way ahead in development, like why not, right? So we ended up going down this line where yeah, I pushed, he pushed, I take, he takes back, I retreat. Now he starts developing. Here I had the idea of like overprotecting this pawn, and trying to get my bishop to c2. Like I wanted to consolidate and get over here, which I realized what's that thing called when you realize afterwards? In hindsight. I realized in hindsight that wasn't a good idea because I'm just staring at a wall of pawns, and then it looks like he's also gonna queenside castle from this position. So I was actually gonna play. I was thinking about playing c4, which you'll see in a few moves. But this prepares for both of those, I guess. It was either c3, c4, bishop b2, or c2, whatever, right? So he continues trying to develop. Here, I think computer says I want to. I looked at the evaluation, and I think I actually agree. I wish I saw this in the match, but like in order to prevent knight f5, I had to play knight g3, which I didn't really think about. I just thought about overprotecting this pawn, which has like 4 protectors but only 2 attackers. So honestly, I could have moved one of them away, but instead I castled because you know, why not? But yeah, I should have taken some time to think about it. Like I said earlier, I probably would have time. And yeah, at this point, I think I was ahead on time, like for most of the game. But yeah, I castle. He goes there. There's like the threat, and I knew that if he took and I took back with the pawn, that would be like a long-term weakness. This pawn back here, the backwards pawn. If he tried to open it up, I don't know. I didn't really like having to defend with the piece there. So I ended up moving the queen up, connect the rooks, that kind of stuff, right? I thought it makes sense. He develops his queen, trying to queenside castle, and at this point I was like, oh baby, oh baby, I gotta punish this. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta open it up. So I play c4, explosive, of course. I don't know why I was inaccurate, but you know, I guess I shouldn't really care that much, because it's not like we're playing perfect anyways. But I'm trying to open it up. He hasn't castled yet. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea. He castles. And I realized like a few turns later, after playing rook e1 at this point, trying to make something interesting happen on this file, that there was a free pawn right here that I just didn't take. Yeah, I think I was distracted by too many things happening. But I'll go into that some more of that I guess afterwards when I talk about some of the learnings I had from over the board. But yeah, I think I don't know why, but tactical vision is very different, like over the board versus online. Like the whole flatness versus diagonal view. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I'll go over some more of that in detail afterwards. But anyways, here I try to make something interesting happen. He takes. I don't think there was any way to avoid this without like making my pieces all in the back. Like here, I guess I could have like moved here or here, but then I don't know. I didn't really like it. So we trade. He trades everything. My lost chance for that free pawn. Oh my god, this move. So stupid. But yeah, this is where he I know Anthony does this a lot, where he tries to do like the one move tricks. Obviously he came here to come here. And when he did this, I was like, what are you like why like not like what are you doing kind of thing, but more like, oh, why did you move your knight there? Because I at first I didn't see this, but now after I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. But this, I guess it worked because I responded incorrectly. So I obviously defended, right? But here he attacks the knight. The classic diagonal attack your knight. That's like that's right next to your king kind of thing to ruin your pawn structure. And yeah, I go here, which is like a waste of a move, so to say. Um, because it's like what is that thing called? Diversion or overworked. Yeah, that's what it is. Overworked. The queen is trying to do two things. So, obviously it doesn't work. So literally queen c3 is like a waste of a move because I literally could have done something else. I think computer says here when I looked to attack this pawn another time and discover attack from the rook. So yeah, it was just a waste of a move. And even when I moved here, I didn't realize that they were touching anyways. So I didn't even evaluate whether or not I should move here or here. I just thought like, oh, defend this square. I should have assessed, and obviously the square doesn't work because it hangs. But yeah, I should have taken some time to assess here. But show goes on. Blunder. Here, computer says to actually take with the queen, which I don't really understand. I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, but yeah, I don't want to lose a rook, right? So, or sack the exchange. So I take with the pawn. He goes there. I think the idea was trying to make something interesting happen there. I don't know, but I block it, which is also a blunder. I think computer still likes knight f what is this, knight f4. Yeah, so putting more pressure here because there's really no threat. Actually, doesn't that just blunder the knight? Oh no, you can move here, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah, but anyways, we don't do that. He attacks the queen. I line him up, baby. He tries to consolidate, which is apparently a blunder. I don't know. It looks like black was more ahead, but now he's not as ahead. Here I realize that pieces are not developed. Rook's not doing anything. So you know, let's make something happen. So I line him up with the king. He lines it up with the pawn. Here, this was actually I didn't see this tactic, which I did see later. But like here, I was thinking like, oh, I don't know if I could make something happen because I was calculating here. I was calculating here, 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 which I don't. It's just like a trade down, which I didn't really like. I think because you know, as you can see in the resulting position, like pawn structure is worse for white. Black looks actually pretty comfortable, except this pawn's hanging, I guess. But yeah, I guess the pawn's hanging and the bishop would be hanging. I don't know, but they could trade first, and this pawn would be hanging. So, I was too busy calculating that, and what I realized with this move was that okay, if I just double stack on this file, you know, you gotta do something about that, Anthony. So yeah, he trades. I'm not sure why he did this. Was there any threat coming in? I don't know. I'm not sure why he traded, but that helps me fix my pawn structure. And then he goes here to double attack this. So I guess I have to note that at this point, Anthony was pretty low on time. I think he had like 2 minutes left, and I still had around 12. So maybe less, maybe like 8. But I realized that, and I thought like, okay, there has to be something around here, right? I don't really care about this pawn because if he takes, so what, right? Like I guess he has a mate threat, but that takes 2 moves. And I have a lot of stuff lined up here. And this is when I finally took some time and like I noticed this tactic here. I knew if I took this, he can't take back because of some discoveries, and it gets kind of scary. And thinking about how much time he had left, he would be most likely to blunder. So I was just like, yo, let's go. Cause this could also happen, right? I saw that like after he takes, I take, he get blocked with the knight, but I don't know if he would have saw that. So I was just like, okay, whatever, we play on, right? So I take, he takes, which is blunder. Computer says +6 for 6.5 for white. So I take, and at this point he should block with the knight, but being low on time, he's playing kind of fast. It's 30 + 5, so 5-second delay. He blunders, which is his forced mate, which I calculated down this line. Yeah. So here, and this is where I think he resigned or ran out of time. But yeah, it's forced mate. Either you block with the knight, and I take with queen or rook, it's over. If you block with the queen, same result. So yeah, game number 2 was another win. That was nice. Yeah, I guess I'll talk about some learnings afterwards. But yeah. All right, last game. This one was let me switch the sides. This one I was black against Arthur Minasian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's 577 rating, but he's definitely much higher rated than that. He plays online for sure. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Or he mentioned he mentioned that he plays online, and I could tell by the way he played that he's his online rating is definitely much higher than 577. So this game was I'm like salty from this game, not gonna lie. And I guess you'll see why. So 1h4. Oh my god. I was before the game too, I was looking over the board because they're playing next to us. When they group out each quad by rating, you're actually sitting next to the people that you're playing with in the tournament. And I actually looked over at his board before, and in his other game with white, he was playing like h4 a4, and I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I was like, and I actually noted to him too, like while we were getting paired up for after game 2, that I was like, yo, I saw what you did over there. I gotta prepare for that. And then I thought about it a little bit too, and I don't know why I just played into his line. I think to be honest, I had like a bit of an ego in terms of like, oh yeah, like I'm up, like I'm 2-0 right now. I feel like I could take any punches that anyone throws towards me. So this was a very humbling game. So 1h4. Okay, yeah, this was yeah, this is not pretty. Okay, so here I was scared of this, which, to be honest, it's not even a threat. But yeah, I played here, which was obvious. It's not obviously a blunder, but you'll see why it's a blunder. Okay, he takes, I take. Now, even if we go into this point, we stop and think about this point in the game and see if this is if I ask myself if this is a traditional setup for black, I would say no. And if you ask me if I was comfortable with playing with this setup, I would also say no. And the reason is because h3 is pushed, the f pawn is missing. Usually, like when you fiend Keto, at least when I play, when I fiend Keto, my kingside bishop as black, the f pawn is not missing. Like it feels like it's a pretty big deal when I like castle and then like this diagonal is open, right? This light square diagonal. So I kept that in mind when I was playing this. I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna, like, I don't think I was telling myself like I don't think I can kingside castle here. I have to like prep for queenside castle. Okay, we continue playing. Here I actually thought for quite a long time. I knew that since this was kind of his pet line that he would know what to play most efficiently. And I thought that I knew that this pawn was weak. I mean, it's hanging right now. Obvious threat is here, which means he's bringing out his queen, right? That means I have to respond correctly with bringing out my queen or some sort of really fast piece development that could protect this pawn. I mean, I guess the only options are e6 and then queen here. And I didn't even think about this, but d6 and bishop here. I ended up playing e6 because obviously if he brings out his queen, I bring out my queen, which is what I even told him. Yeah, I try to keep it light when I play. Like I make banter and like small talk. I don't know the etiquette honestly for over the board, but you know, I like to relax. Like chess is just for fun, right? So, and I know people like playing for fun, and it is true that I don't know if any of you have ever heard this, but like it's so serious in the chess room, and I don't like it when it's serious. I like to bring it down to like a goofy kind of level, right? Life is just more fun like that. So, anyways, I was like kind of like talking to this guy, kind of like bantering because also because not only because this is my first tournament, but he in round one he his opponent never showed up. So which when I said like we were six, but one guy never, we had a no show. He was quote unquote playing with the no show for round one. So I knew, I don't know, I kind of felt bad for him. Like not feel bad in the sense of like pity, but like I felt bad because like, you know, you take time out of your freaking Saturday to come play chess and you get a no show. That fucking sucks, right? So, you know, try to liven up the environment a little bit, make it more fun, you know, because, you know, kind of sucks when your opponent doesn't show up. But anyways, he punished me for that. He punished me for the banter, as you'll see. So he plays knight c6, obvious threat. Here, blitz. It's a blitz kind of thing, right? Computer says to actually like screw castling, like it doesn't matter if he attacks that in this line. you just sidestep. I was like, what? Like I didn't even think about this because the whole time, like I mentioned earlier, like I wanted to not castle on king side, I wanted to castle queen side. So like my intention was to, like, even at this point, was to develop my pieces ASAP and like castle, like fiend Keto here, castle. Like that was my goal. As you can see, that goal kind of screwed up. But anyways, wait, I play a6, preventing the trick, right? The freaking low elo blitz trick. Sorry, there's like motorcycle noises outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but whatever. Okay, we go on. He attacks the pawn again. Good thing I push this because now I have my knight coming in. And I'm pretty proud of this position right now because I'm actually holding it together really well. Like, given all the tricks that he's throwing at me, he's throwing at me, like, I'm kind of fending him off pretty well. And like, my pieces are kind of coordinated, pretty coordinated. The only thing that I was upset about was like, oh fuck, like, get me out of here, like, real quick. I was kind of nervous, but in hindsight, like, there was nothing to be nervous about. My king's safe. Like, I don't know why I was so anxious to get the fuck out. But yeah, that played into the moves that I had later on. Okay, I'm kicking the queen. Like, get out of here. You want a queen trade? I'm fine with queen trade. Like, at this point, I wanted to mitigate the attack. So I wanted to, like, you know, see if the queen can move somewhere where we could trade, and then, like, I can get into a queenless middle game or something like that. And, like, yeah, I don't mind not castling in a queenless middle game. If anything, that's something I'm trying to practice. So, you know, if we get into that point, like, I feel like I could outplay opponents without castling. So I was really trying to look for that. Okay, he plays there, which is pretty good because I was afraid of this, right? The rook f6. So I was like, okay, good. Like, get the fuck out. Here I'm still trying to develop. I think I noticed this this discovery right here. But I think I forgot about it. But this was one of my moves to give myself some flexibility, knight flexibility, even king, as you'll see in the few moves. Okay, he develops bishop here, and at this point I was kind of worried because he had this move right here, which discover attacks the bishop, allows the bishop to discover attack the queen, and also at the same time defends the bishop, which obviously I shouldn't have been afraid of. I could just step away, but that was something I was looking at. I was tripping. Okay, here is the fatal blunder. When like I told you before, I was looking to trade down because you know, the position is complicated. I think, like, if I were to give myself some more excuses, like this third game, I was kind of tired. I don't know. I don't like giving excuses, but I don't know. I didn't like, when I look back at this game, I'm like, I can't believe I played this, like, line. But yeah, it'd be like that. Anyways, he punishes. I remember at this point, I was like, because we were doing, like, friendly banter and shit, right? So I was like, queen trade, or in official terms, gimme. I told him that, and then he laughed. So, you know, I thought that was pretty funny. But then yeah, he did say gimme. You know what I'm saying? Give me that pawn. So he took the pawn with check. Yeah, it was a dumb move. Obviously, it's defended twice right now, and when I move the queen away, it's not defended twice. And I forgot it was check. That's the key thing, because, you know, if it was just a pawn, like, I'd be fine with it. Like, who cares, right? Just a pawn. But it's with check, so I had to move the king. Move the king. Oh, that's a blunder. Oh, is it queen trade? Oh my god. Okay, here. Okay, so this is kind of dumb. Because just a few moves ago, I was like, queen trade? And then once he checks and allows the queen trade, I said no. And then, like, in hindsight too, like, when you're getting massacred or attacked, obviously you want to trade queens. Like, you're the one defending, and the queen is the most powerful piece. Like, you want to trade queens, right? Like, that just makes sense. So I don't know why at this point. I thought I was down a lot more material than just a pawn, and needed to, like, oh, is this bishop even hanging? Oh wait, no, that was the next move. Sorry. I thought it was down a lot more material and needed to trade queens when I was only down a pawn and like not castled. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was the fatigue, man. Like, what can I say? Okay. Anyways, I decided not to trade because I'm dumb. Um, Even here, like when I was plugging in the stuff for whatchamacallit, for this study, I was like, oh my god, like why didn't I not do this move? Why did I play this move? What's Yeah, so I'm just getting attacked, right? I didn't even see this for some reason. I was just very focused on this. So I block it, which is a blunder. He attacks my queen. I lose a piece. At this point, I'm like, okay, try to save the situation. Develop ASAP. He comes in, trades some pieces. He actually gives me a piece back. Wait, is it 2, 4, 5, 2, 4? Oh, I'm still down a piece. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4. Yeah, I'm still down a piece. So yeah, this is where I stopped annotating because I was under 5 minutes. But basically, this is lost. I ended up blundering a knight at the end game. And then I lost. I resigned. He was gonna promote, so I just resigned. Yeah, not my proudest game, but yeah, it is what it is. Just finished my first chess tournament. I finally got back home. I'm like so tired mentally. I won. It was 3 rounds. 30 plus 5. I won the first 2 games as white. First game I played a little kid. Second game I played Anthony, and then and that was a pretty good mate that I got him on. The third game, oh my god, I played as black, and then the guy I was playing against played one H4. Was it H4? Yeah, it was H4. And that like tripped me up pretty bad. I responded pretty poorly, and then blundered, and then I got a chance to come back after losing down a piece, but ultimately I got an L on that one. But super fun. Got 2 out of 3. 2 wins with white, 1 loss as black. Super fun though. I'm gonna do this shit more. All right, so in summary, I guess I want to just consolidate some of my learnings from over the board because it's it was a really fun experience and I really want to do some more. Obviously, like I want to make it more of a regular thing, and actually really enjoy doing these like I guess not consolidations, but like analysis after the games, because I realized that what I've been thinking about during the game is actually like overthinking, like really overthinking. And I feel like it's crazy because I don't do that when I play like online. Like I play like 10 plus 5, 15 plus 10, 5 plus 3, even 2 plus 1 sometimes. Like fake bullet. But like I mean there's no time to think, I guess. But with so much time, like 30 plus 5, it actually changes a lot of the mentality around the game. I feel like I could play better for sure. But I feel like there's opportunity for growth, and I'm really excited to play some more. My goal is actually to get to 2000. First 2000 online. Okay. I should have mentioned this in the earlier part of the video, but online on lichess, I'm mid 700s on Blitz and Rapid, and on chess.com, I'm around. Did I get to 1500? I'm not sure. I want to say I get to 1500. I don't usually use chess.com because it's you have to pay for it. I'm fucking cheap. But yeah, I want to get to 2,000. That's my first goal. I told Anthony like, oh, I'm gonna get GM someday. And then there's like, you know, that whole thing with like Levy not being able to get to GM, or not, like that drama between Hikaru and Levy about like how he's not able to get to GM because it's too late. Like Anthony like says that shit to me, and I'm just like, nah, bro, you gotta have that drive. But I'm not even close right now. So what do I know? But I just have that dream. You know what I'm saying? So that's my goal. I want to keep doing this because it's fucking fun. Community is great. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.